What you should know before moving to Atlanta, Georgia. My name is Greg Goad with Goad Home Partners at Real Broker. I moved to Atlanta in 2007 to the Roswell, Sandy Springs, Alpharetta area. And then after living there for a year, moved to East Atlanta, close to downtown and Grant Park. We moved around a good bit. I actually left and then came back and then moved to the Northwest Atlanta suburbs, to the Kennesaw, Marietta, Canton, Woodstock-ish area. We know Atlanta extremely well, and we're gonna let you know what we wish we knew before we moved to Atlanta. On top of our experience of living here, we've also done a ton of research. Everything in this video is gonna be left in the description below. One thing you're gonna need to know before we get any further into this video is some geography about Atlanta. There is some terms called ITP and OTP, and that means it is the circumference around Atlanta, which is 285. It is an interstate that people travel around. And if you're OTP, that you're outside the perimeter. If you're ITP, that means you're inside the perimeter. So that is the inner city, the urbanism, and then the outside is most of the suburbs and outlying countrysides. We're gonna talk affordability, housing, and cost of living. Let's talk median price point. What is a median price point? It's really the normal average of what your normal person can afford, livability, affordability. So we're gonna get into some of the median price points inside and outside of the Atlanta area. The greater state of Georgia is $367,000 for a median price point. Inside the perimeter of Atlanta, Georgia is $389,000, and the national average is $392,000. So looking at those median price points, we go everything from 40% below the national average all the way up to 11% above the national average. So in the state of Georgia and in Atlanta, you can go all the way down to 40% and up to 11% over the national average. So we certainly do have those multi-million-dollar estates and properties inside the perimeter and outside the perimeter. So depending on how luxurious and how bougie you want to be, or how conservative you want to be, it's really up to you. For all of my homeowners out there, everything we love about taxes. Taxes, but they gotta get paid. We are actually in the state of Georgia for that median price point at $2,027. That is actually $800 less than the national average. And the average tax rate in Georgia is 0.81%. Let's talk gasoline prices. It's a sore subject all across the board. But here in the state of Georgia, as we rounded 2022 and now 2023, we ended the year at $2.73 per gallon. The national average was $3.16 a gallon. So that just goes to show you, we have a big commuter area and gas is a lot cheaper here. Hotlanta. Yes, it is called Hotlanta. It is a very hot and muggy summer here in the city, greater area of Atlanta, Georgia. And in the winter, it is short, wet, and cold. And the temperatures range from 35 degrees Fahrenheit up to 89 degrees Fahrenheit, rarely getting below 22 degrees Fahrenheit, rarely getting above 95 degrees Fahrenheit. But in the spring and fall months, it is absolutely blissful and amazing. In the fall, you get some great leaf changing colors. We're really close to the North Georgia mountains to take a drive, take a hike. In the springtime, everything turns green. It is absolutely gorgeous and blooming. I love it. Let's talk population in Atlanta, Georgia. In the city, 2020, roughly 569,000 people. Atlanta is the 37th largest city in the USA. We are growing by 1.4% every year and roughly 4,196 people per square mile. That's pretty dense, but it's really not that bad either. Let's talk population for the state of Georgia. 10.9 million people. We are the 18th largest by density, and in Fulton County alone, we have up to 1 million people. Then the greater Atlanta metro area, we are at 6.14 million people. So before you move to Atlanta, Georgia, you're gonna make a big decision. Do you wanna be ITP or do you wanna be OTP? Let's figure it out. Let's talk ITP. Pros. We do have MARTA, which is public transportation. We have a railway system and a bus line system. And we also have big ticket entertainments, stuff that comes to the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, the Tabernacle in Atlanta, the Fox Theater, all kinds of really fun, cool destination stuff that people actually travel to Atlanta to go do. Some more pros for ITP is going to be the walkability and bikeability to shops, dining, and entertainment. And then ATL is actually called the Green City because there is a ton of trees, parks, greenways, biking paths, walking paths, and all the things. And then we have the biggest international airport in the entire southeast quadrant of the United States of America. Let's talk cons of living inside the perimeter. Traffic. If you hear Atlanta, you think traffic, it's thick, there's a lot of it. Then we have a higher crime rate, and then the cost of living per square foot is definitely higher inside the perimeter. OTP, pros, if you have a family or if you're wanting to have a family, living outside the perimeter is definitely family centric. You have more spacious homes, we have more spacious yards and lots and living quarters. It is definitely a lot more spacious OTP. Better graded school system according to niche.com, and then you can still get a small town feel in a city close to the big city. Next is traffic. It is definitely less congested as it comes to traffic, and we actually have other options like the Peach Pass, Northwest Corridor, and the Southwest Corridor, so you can zip in and to and from the city very easily. These two pros go hand in hand, being close to the North Georgia mountains and the beginning of the Appalachian Trail in towns like Blue Ridge, Georgia, outdoor recreation like mountain biking, hiking, fly fishing, anything outdoor centric, camping, all the things. Outside the perimeter, cons, there is little to no public transportation outside the perimeter, and the walkability and bikeability from work and school is little to none. But we are starting to see a big push for that to be changed, so there are lots of paths and parks being put in some of these OTP local cities. And the last con for outside the perimeter living is the commute. You are definitely further from the city if you're commuting for work, and then also if you're commuting for shops, dining, and entertainment as well, it is definitely a longer commute. So while you're making your decision, whether it's ITP or whether it's OTP, one thing you're gonna need to have, unless you have a trust fund, is you're gonna need a JOB. So let's talk job market, let's talk employability. And Atlanta is awesome for that because there is actually 16 Fortune 500 companies, and it is the highest concentration in the country. Some of the big cats on the block, as you're talking about employers, we got Home Depot, UPS, UPS, we have Randstad, North America, and then we have our favorite airline, Delta Airlines. If you're from Atlanta, you definitely fly Delta. So let's talk unemployment rate. So at the end of 2022, the unemployment rate was 3.1%, as the annual average is 7.1%. And what I can tell you is that it is actually getting better. More people are working in and around Atlanta, Georgia. ATL is ranked 15th in terms of job market by the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. Public transportation here in the Atlanta area, we have a little thing called MARTA. MARTA is made up of a rail system and a bus line system, all inside the perimeter, except there's one North Spring station and there's one in the Atlanta airport, which goes from north to south. And you're wondering, can I really go without a car in the city limits of Atlanta? Absolutely you can. It's gonna make you the MARTA expert, but there's nothing wrong with that. Now, outside the perimeter, unless you live in Cobb County, and even in Cobb County, all we do is have a bus line system. There is no public transportation, so you are absolutely gonna need a vehicle. Let's talk outdoor recreation. Atlanta is a huge hub for outdoor recreation, being right here at the base of the Blue Ridge Mountains and the Appalachian Trail. We've got some awesome mountain bike parks. We got some awesome trail systems here. We got some awesome waterways that you can do some water recreation too. And we've got some really fun activities as it comes to lakes. So if you like to water ski, you like to do stuff on the open water, sailboat, all those kinds of things, we have a ton of recreation available. So the outdoor community here in Atlanta is here and thriving. And because we have such a great climate here in the South, we can really do that year round. We just went through a ton of information on what you should know before moving here to our local Atlanta area. But of course, as you know, that is just the surface level. We can go a lot deeper on a lot of other deeper things. If you're one of those people that you've lived here, you watch this, you're like, hey, I want to add something. This is what I wish I would have known. Drop a comment below. I would love to hear what your thoughts were or something we could have added to this video. My name is Greg Goad with Goad Home Partners at Real Broker. Like, subscribe. See you on the next episode.